You're not just being monitored on license plates. Every single movement you do in public is being monitored.
To have in a neighborhood, like just surveilling the whole neighborhood.
That is not just crime prevention. That is mass surveillance being marketed to us as safety.
Welcome back, guys, or if you're new here, welcome. Today we're going over these flock cameras, or safety cameras as they're trying to be advertised as. If you don't know what these safety cameras are, that's why I'm making this video. There's a huge pushback on these cameras from regular people, but it doesn't matter. They've already installed over 110,000 of them nationwide. And these are super high-tech cameras, AI enhanced. They're capturing all this data. They're sending it to these huge data centers, and it's kind of just storage in case they need to use it for whatever reason. And I'm talking super magnification, like they can see your license plate, they can see you picking your nose. And in case you don't know what I'm talking about, we're about to get into some clips and you can check it out for yourself. But before we do, let me know down below if you guys have seen these flock cameras or this is the first time you're even hearing of these cameras. And hit that subscribe button so you don't miss future videos. Let's get into it.
Hey, what's up, America? I want to show you exactly how bad flock surveillance actually is. And I want to show you just 2 city blocks of a small town and flock cameras recording hundreds of different events of just random mundane life to be used against you, the general population, sometime in the future. Let's take a look. So what you're seeing here is approximately 2 blocks of a small town with several flock camera systems recording every single point of movement in the town as if it was something that might be a criminal offense, and then logging it here in a database to be used later against you if the time should arise. So this is just 2 city blocks, and this is the amount of data flock cameras found in less than 20 minutes. Hundreds and hundreds of different points. Flock cameras seem to be doing nothing more than tracking the movements of every single thing. Human, car, even animals were seen being surveilled by the flock camera systems. This is sickening. This is not just license plate readers. This is an everything reader. Every point of movement is being read by a flock camera. Of course, here's your heat map of flock. 110,432 flock cameras as of July 2nd, 2026. But as you can see here, most of the entire living space of the United States and any habitable area is now being monitored by flock. So you're not just being monitored on license plates. Every single movement you do in public is being monitored and sent to a database for use against you in the future. So let me know what you think about that.
Look around. We're standing in the middle of the Richland Wildlife Management Area. Miles and miles of Florida wilderness with no neighborhoods or shopping centers, subdivisions, or traffic lights around. Just woods, hunters, fishermen, families, people enjoying the outdoors the way that generations of Floridians always have. So here's my question. Why are there surveillance cameras here? Why are there license plate readers sitting at the crossroads of a wildlife management area? Who are they watching? The hunters? People exercising their Second Amendment rights? Families going camping? Fishermen headed to a boat ramp? Because it isn't just here. I recently drove to a remote boat ramp in the middle of the marsh. There wasn't a town nearby. There wasn't a shopping center, a neighborhood, just a boat ramp and surveillance cameras recording every vehicle coming and going. At what point did we decide that every trip into nature should be tracked? Every hunting and fishing trip, every drive through rural Florida. Some people will immediately say, those cameras help stop crime. They help stop human trafficking. And every one of us wants criminals caught. Every one of us wants trafficking victims rescued. But here's the question that no one seems willing to ask. How much surveillance are we willing to accept? For decades, law enforcement investigated crimes without building massive networks of cameras that record the movements of millions of law-abiding Americans. Technology can be a useful investigative tool, but it should never become a substitute for police work. It should never become a substitute for evidence, and it should never become a substitute for the constitutional liberties that Americans have always expected.
Flock cameras are not just crime deterrents. They are watching you, they are logging you, even if you do not commit a crime. They have systems that log your license plate, your vehicle details, the time that you were there, the location. They can catalog your make, model, color, bumper stickers, roof racks, even visible damage to your vehicle down to scratches and dents. And then they store that data in searchable databases used by police and other three-letter agencies across the country. That is not just crime prevention. That is mass surveillance being marketed to us as safety. Well, don't do crime and you'll be okay. You are thinking way too small. You are quite literally still inside of the box. You trust the government with a permanent surveillance network? Freedom means being left alone by the state unless you have actually done something, not being tracked just in case. And something that absolutely baffles me is the fact that the CEO of Flock Safety has already compared people exposing the camera locations and criticizing these systems to terrorists and Antifa. That should alarm everyone. That is how civil liberties get eroded. First by labeling dissent as dangerous, then by expanding surveillance in the name of security, right? And before I show you what a flock looks like, let's talk about my own city. If these cameras are just harmless crime deterrents, why is Louisville, Kentucky fighting so hard to keep their location secret? Louisville has deployed over 200 plus city-owned flock cameras, and police also have access to hundreds more shared cameras from businesses, HOAs, universities, other entities across Jefferson County. Around 600 cameras total that the government can tap into. Metro officials and LMPD have refused to publicly disclose exact camera locations. Earlier this month, Louisville Metro Council voted down a proposal that would have required the city to publish these locations online. They love to say, if you're not doing anything wrong, then you shouldn't care. Okay, uno reverse. If you're not doing anything wrong, why do you care that we want to know where they are? Why are you hiding the cameras? I live in the West End, so I'm actually going to walk you to the flock closest to my neighborhood so that you can see what mass surveillance looks like right here at home. Okay, so this is a flock camera at the corner of Dixie Highway and Dumenil Street in Louisville. Most people drive past this and never think twice, and that's the point. Surveillance works best when it feels normal and when it feels invisible. We're told not to worry about facial recognition or expanded tracking, but we have no proof that they won't do that or that they haven't already. The issue isn't just what they claim that the cameras do today, it's what these systems can become once the infrastructure is already everywhere. Oh, well, there's no expectation of privacy in public. Being seen in public is not the same as having your movements logged, stored, analyzed, retraced, all to be sold to a private surveillance network. We recognize that persistent tracking can become harassment or stalking when individuals do it. So why is mass automated tracking suddenly acceptable when these corporations and the government does it?
Americans are now declaring war on flock safety cameras. There are videos coming out across the entire country showing people not only putting trash bags over them, but completely destroying them as well. Take a look. Here are just a couple of examples. We can see them using power tools to cut down the poles, take the cameras off the poles, throw them on the ground, and even blow them up in some cases. Look at that. Again, this is happening all across the United States. People are going out at night with their faces covered, of course, and using battery-powered angle grinders, saws, and paint to cut down or completely cover the surveillance poles. In Virginia, one guy faced dozens of felony charges after he sliced down 13 separate cameras. Similar events have been heavily reported by police across Michigan, Oregon, California, Connecticut, and Illinois, just to name a few. But here's what's crazy. New systems are currently being developed to pull Bluetooth identifiers from inside of moving cars. Since they can pair a physical vehicle with the unique Bluetooth signal of the driver's phone, the surveillance has moved from tracking the machine to now tracking the exact human being inside of it. But people are fighting back. The DFlock project is a massive open source mapping website that allows people to locate exactly where all of these cameras are.
You know those flock cameras that have been popping up all over the US, right? Do not, under any circumstances, point a high-powered green laser at the flock cameras. this can and will permanently damage and or disable the cameras and require them to be replaced and cost the company money. So please, under no circumstances, do this.
Wild stuff, guys. And don't forget, starting in 2027, every single car is going to have a camera in it, also tracking everything that you do. Your speed, how hard you turn, how hard you brake, all that. That's going to be installed in every new model that is sold in the US starting 2027. And they could forget that whole argument on, oh, well, if you're not doing anything wrong, why do you care? How about the police can just come in your house and start flipping mattresses over? Why do you care if you're not doing anything wrong? No, you need something called a damn warrant. You need a warrant to tap somebody's phone to listen in on them. They're trying to slowly get rid of all of that. They're already tracking everything we do on these phones. Let's not play stupid. Because I've had multiple conversations, and then I open up an app, and oh, they're showing me an ad for what I was just talking about with my buddy that I never talked about before, and I never searched it before. It's just wild that, like, people are so preoccupied with work and their daily duties and bills. I get it. I totally get it. But this is not okay. We can't just sit by and let this happen. This is insane. But this is one of those topics that is definitely not getting enough attention, and I don't see it leading to anything good. Like I said, it's just going to keep getting worse, and the privacy is going to become less and less, and eventually they just want people to be like, yeah, whatever, you know, they already have all this information, who cares? Let me know down below what you guys think about this. Thank you all for watching, and until next time. And subscribe to the channel. I'm watching you.